my name's Mel. Welcome back to my bookshelf. Now, I wasn't going to do a December wrap up because I honestly only thought that I read 2 books. But when I went back over and looked at it again and realised I'd actually read 6, I thought I'd better just do a belated December wrap up just to wrap up the year. So here we go. So the first book I finished in December was The Devil in the Dark Water. I finished it in the first few days of December, so maybe that's why I thought it wasn't December for some reason. Anyway, I've done an in-depth review of this one, which I'll link in the description. But this one was a murder mystery slash horror slash supernatural kind of, but not, but yes, but no. It was about a bunch of characters who went on a boat and there was some supernatural strange things happening, and it was up to seasoned detective Samuel Pepys to solve the mystery, but he was on the boat as a prisoner, locked in a cell, so it was a bit hard for him to figure out what was going on. It was just really clever. I really loved the characters. I really liked the romance. It was different. It was written differently to anything I'd ever read before. Really, it was a great read. The next book I finished in December was Jurassic Park. I think I forgot about this one because I read it so quickly. So everyone knows the story about Jurassic Park. Dinosaurs come to life. But the book is just so much better than the movie. And that's really saying something because the movie is phenomenal. The movie is such a display of puppeteering and real special effects with mechanical dinosaurs. And of course, they'd had to cut out a lot of the book in the movie, but there was just so much that they cut out, like a lot of different dinosaurs, a few different characters that they merged into one, and there was just so much more blood and guts in this one. Really guts everywhere, and I really enjoyed this one. It almost made my top 10 for the year, just slipped out. It's probably number 11, but it was amazing. So I really, if you haven't read Jurassic Park, I really highly recommend that you do because it was a lot of fun. I listened to a couple of audiobooks in December, the first being Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey. Now this book was a memoir of his life, so I think he's 50 now, so it was the last 50 years of his life, and it was a really good audiobook. The start and the first half was just really entertaining. His life as a child, stories of his family, of his father, of his mother. It was really entertaining. I was really absorbed. He even came to Australia for a year, and that was really, really funny. Not just because of the things that happened, but because I could relate to it, to driving out of Sydney, and it was just hilarious. I never knew that he lived in Australia, so that was really interesting. I really like Matthew McConaughey. He's one of my favourite actors. He's in 2 out of my top 3 movies of all time, which is Contact, which is my number 1, and Interstellar, which is my number 3. So I am a big fan of his, and I really enjoyed listening to the audiobook and just having his voice just wash over you. I didn't turn the speed up once, which is rare for me because I like to turn the speed up to get through it in my head. I didn't even want to with this. I just wanted his voice in my ears all day, and it was lovely. It was relatively a quick audiobook. It was less than 7 hours. It was really enjoyable. But the second half of it, just things got a little bit weird. I mean, he's a very spiritual person, and he talks about looking for signs, and just a lot of the signs he was getting were in the form of wet dreams. So he spoke a lot about his wet dreams, and it was a little bit odd, and he would follow his dreams and the visions that he saw in these dreams out to certain places in the world where he had these different experiences. And look, it was really interesting. It just was a bit odd. I guess we all need to look outside of ourselves at times to find meaning in our lives, and I guess that's what he was doing, but it was just got a bit odd, but I still enjoyed it. It was definitely worth getting and worth listening to or reading if you are on the fence about it. Look, most of it was really, really good. A lot of fun. I think it really gives you a good indication of who he is as a person, and the different traits that he has, and that's really refreshing. I mean, I haven't read that many memoirs from actors, so it's something I think I really want to maybe read a few more just to get more of an inkling about their lives. So I also listened to the Sandman on audio. I've done a more in-depth review on this as well, which I'll link down below, but it's literally the Sandman comics in audio version, and it was just a really amazing sound production. It had a really awesome cast. Neil Gaiman himself was incredible as the narrator. It's a very special book to me, so it was very good. The last full book that I completed in December was Dune, and I've done an in-depth review on that, which I'll also link below. I really enjoyed it. It didn't hit me as I was kind of hoping to be hit, but that doesn't mean that I didn't really enjoy it. And I definitely read it again at a later time, and I think I really want to read the next novels. I've got the next one ready to go, but it's just a matter of when I can fit it in. I also had 2 books that I didn't complete in December. Now all my sci-fi friends are going to be like, what? With this next one, but it just wasn't for me. It was We Are Legion, book 1 of the Bobverse. Highly rated sci-fi book. All of my friends seemed to love it, and I was assuming that I'd love it too. I downloaded the audio version and I was into it for the first hour or 2, and then it just got boring. I just couldn't I couldn't keep with it, and I'm sorry to all my sci-fi friends. This book is about Bob, who arranges for his brain to get stored on the event of his untimely death. When he gets hit by a car, his brain gets stored, and then he wakes up and he's in a computer system that's like a century into the future, and they put his brain into spaceships that can replicate themselves and send him off. And as I said, it was a really great start for me, but I tried listening to it a few times, but I just could not get into it, and I'm really disappointed. I was really looking forward to it. I'd heard so many good reviews and people raving about how wonderful the whole series is, and I was so excited to get into it, but then it just sort of fizzled flat. And speaking about disappointing reads that fell flat, was my probably most anticipated read of the year, which was To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I loved the synopsis of this. It's about a woman named Kira who discovers an alien relic, and the next thing you know, she's in this alien type suit thing, and it just sounded so good, and I tried so many times to read it, and I even downloaded the audio version and I tried with that, and it was alright for a couple of hours again, but hit about 1/3 of the way through and I just got absolutely bored, and I couldn't continue when I had so many other books on my TBR waiting for me. So I may try this again at a later date, but I was really disappointed because I was really anticipating this one. It still wins my favourite cover of the year award because it is absolutely stunning, but unfortunately for me it didn't live up to the cover. So that was my December. Some good books and some not so good books. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.